Good morning, everyone. It's Tess, and today is going to be tip 179, and I'm going to call it Plateau Pummeling. It kind of came to me yesterday because yesterday I talked about like a motivation circle, and part of it was, that we have ups and downs, and part of what kind of was talked about is the idea of plateaus. And I decided I looked into plateaus a little bit because we all run into plateaus at different points in our journey. And I really now believe that plateaus are probably a lot to do with that we got more comfortable with the journey and we fell off of our normal routines. And the reason I thought that is because of like some other programs that I was in that you only met once a week. Inevitably, if you were going to a program, good morning, Dolly, good to see you. If you were going to a city program, what I have been guilty of in the past is that I would go to a meeting that was only once a week. Once the meeting was over with, we'd all go to the nearest Coney Island or anywhere that was close by, and we'd have a splurge meal, which turned into a splurge day, which turned into a splurge couple of days. Then you were trying to jump right back on it to lose weight before the next meeting. And I thought, how many times in life is a plateau truly a plateau, or did we become complacent, comfortable? Did we fall off of did we lose our excitement about what we were trying to do? So I looked up some tips on plateaus and what other people think about them so that we can put the tools together to keep ourselves. Good morning, Thomas. And the one thing it kind of said is, if you look at a plateau as a wonderful way to rehearse maintenance, once you reach goal, it might just kind of put you in a different mindset. Because everyone talks about plateaus, but my experience has been plateaus is generally when we have, at least in my experience, there are a few cases where it is that you need to change something, that you've done the same thing for so long you need to change something. But there are also cases where it's simply that you have lost your commitment to your journey. And it kind of one of the articles I read kind of referred to it as like twilight zoning. And that's what I mentioned a minute ago, is that are you truly on your journey every single day and working your journey every single day? Or are you saying, like those of us who are with Doc V, we weigh in once a week, and are you being good that 2 to 3 days before weigh-in so you lose weight? Or are you following your program for 7 days? We're never going to be 100% perfect, but are you consistently trying to follow your journey? So I think I thought that was an interesting way to look at it. Are you in it, or are you trying to manage it in a way that lets you have your fun, have your cake and eat it too, so to speak? So I kind of almost want, in my mind, I'm going to kind of look at this idea of being good a couple days before a weigh-in is Russian roulette that I don't want to play. I can remember being in programs, and that's what would happen. Weigh-in was over. Okay, it's a cheat day. Go have some fun. And the article kind of referred to this as if you have this kind of an issue, like if I was to have group today and I had that kind of a problem, maybe what I would do is call today the first day of the new week, just so there's never a period of time where I feel like I can mess up and then get back on track, because that mess up, that stepping off of my journey, is what sometimes gets me in trouble. Yeah. Hi, Miss Eileen. And too often I've played that Russian roulette game in the past, is that I just thought that, hey, you know what? I can just be bad for a couple days, and then I can be really good for 2 or 3 days, fast, not eat, drink all water, and I can lose the weight. Well, that's not really learning anything. And for me, I'm going to consider it Russian roulette, because I'm not doing what I need to do. We're never going to be 100% perfect, but I have to change my mindset more often than I don't, or it's not going to be a forever journey. I know this has come up dozens and dozens of times, doing something every day, something simple, something small. I think that An important thing if you're struggling is to journal, and maybe journal your thoughts and journal what you're doing, because it might give you clues. And this will lead into my next comment, but if you journal what you're thinking and what you're doing and maybe where you're like starting to slide off, it might give you clues as to, did you not get your water in? Are you not eating enough vegetables? If you're honest on your journal, I'm sure it'll give you clues on either where you can tweak, where you can adjust, or where you've actually kind of given up on the journey, that you got bored, you got tired, you got depressed, you just didn't want to do it anymore. And I think that in journaling, you can kind of make it fun. You can almost make it like a game of Clue. And if you put your journaling down and you put your details down, you can almost consider that when you're not losing weight, that's the murdered person. And you can use the clues that you wrote in your journal when you were just putting your thoughts down as who is the culprit that caused the weight loss to stop. And if you make a game of it, sometimes I like making a game of things. It's kind of fun. The other thing is maybe even check in with your AP. I know in the Doc V challenge, we have APs, and you can actually even sit down with them and go over your journal and say, this is what I'm doing. Do you think this is causing the issue? And maybe between the two of you, you can come up with a couple of things to do a little bit differently. And that might help you to break the stall or to break the boredom, the tiredness, or the depression that has come on from a journey that seems like it's insurmountable and going on for too long. I do a lot with like writing positive statements or listening to I am affirmations just to kind of shift my mindset, because I recognize in myself, up until a year ago, I thought I was an optimistic person. I truly would have argued with anyone who told me that I was not optimistic. I did not recognize till I started writing statements and how uncomfortable they felt, or listening to I am affirmations and found out how uncomfortable they felt, that I truly was not optimistic. So even look at that. Writing positive statements. I am enjoying learning to love water. I am enjoying to learn to love new veggies in my smoothie. I am learning to love new colorful colors of the rainbow veggies in my salad. Just things to start changing monkey brain into a positive brain, because I never realized that I truly wasn't as positive as I thought I was until later. Hi, Annie Mae. Good to see you. I do think we need to be excited about the journey wherever we can find it. I already mentioned about playing a game of Clue and making it fun. I think we do have to stay engaged in it. I do think the idea of a plateau as being practice for learning how to manage your body, because when we get to a point where we're in maintenance, we're going to have to learn at any point in time what's causing us to gain, what's causing us to lose. Is my mindset involved? Have I got lax on what I'm doing? Do I need to change my foods? Do I need to change my activity? Do I need to do something earlier or later than I was doing it before? But if we look at plateau as just an opportunity to learn the next step in the next level, it might help a lot. So just kind of going over some of the tips. If you're a person that weighs in every week, maybe you make your day one of the new week the day that you're actually going to your meeting, so that you don't get tempted to take a couple of days and reward yourself. Make sure that if you have an AP or checking in, write a journal of what your thoughts are, because if you write a journal of your thoughts, you might be able to identify the patterns where you've fallen off or gotten bored or gotten tired. And if you're not identifying them, maybe you and your AP can play a game of Clue and try to identify what might be stumbling you. And then you can actually take steps and revisit it every week and see if it's helped you to overcome the stall. And use positive affirmations, use positive self-thought. I do have a journal where I write thoughts all the time, and I just use it like I am affirmations. I think truly a plateau, generally speaking, is usually because you've become relaxed with your commitment to your like your food, your activity, your water. I think that happens because we get bored, we get tired, and it can also happen because we've reduced activity, or this was a good one too, cuteness. They termed it cuteness. And what that means is that it may happen to all of us. Have you ever tried an eating binge tonight? Oh, that's an interesting one too. I had, and I'm not going to encourage this for anyone, especially not bariatric people, because we have a smaller stomach and it could make you sick. But I had somebody tell me once that they were sick of being addicted to chocolate. So they sat down after Christmas once where somebody had given them like boxes and boxes and boxes of chocolate. And they sat down and binged on that until it made them sick, and they have never touched it since. But see, that's, you got to be careful with some of that because you don't want it to throw you into the other area. But that might be something to consider too. But I'd be careful on what you binge with so that it doesn't throw you into a new habit. But that's an interesting idea. I have heard of people doing that. I haven't done it myself, but try to identify where you can make the changes, and maybe you do. I just be careful of the sugary. For me, I know I can't add a lot of sugary things in because I think I had an addiction to sugar, so I don't add that in because I'm afraid of it. But yeah, try different things, but make sure you try things that are not going to cause you to have a longer stumble. And that cuteness thing they were referring to is when you've had success for a period of time, you start to feel good about yourself. People start complimenting you. You look good. You feel good. And it's okay to be in that moment for a little bit, but be careful if you still have further to go that you don't let go and end up being one of the people with the weight regain. So there's a lot of different tools out there. Use your AP, use your groups. Make sure that you're trying to find ways to stay in the journey every day. And I know I'm a big journaler, but sometimes if you're journaling, it will actually give you clues as to where things are falling by the wayside. So I hope that you guys find this helpful. If you have any comments or chats, by all means, drop them in. I think I'll start trying to remember to put my YouTube link in these so that people might want to join my YouTube channel. And have a beautiful day and pummel those plateaus because I think they're really just us getting in our own way. Have a beautiful day. Thank you so much. And we'll overcome everything together. We've got this, you guys. Thank you again. Bye-bye.